There's like fewer people, less interested. Week 0. They're all in Kansas City.
The game.
You see Nebraska?
Coach, I know you would adapt on the fly. Do you prefer this week in between, or would you rather just go right from that last preseason game right into the regular season?
I think this week's beneficial. We have it, so we'll use it. Chance to clean up some stuff. Players get their bodies back. So I think it falls at a good time for us, and we'll make the most of it.
Zach, what is reservation? Yeah, I'm not know if it's official yet. Can you talk about Reiser?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I mean, what does he add to your room, and what led to you going to get it?
Another veteran player, that's performed well as his time in the league. And so, the timing's good to get him in here a week before the game and see where he's at. So we'll see the timing of getting him out here at practice. If so, it would just be going through individual and some stuff today. We wouldn't throw him in their full speed, but it's good. It's good to get a veteran in here who's played a lot of winning football and get him in the mix there in the O-line.
What is the process like for a lineman who's new to everything, trying to get up to speed at this time of the year?
Getting with the line coaches, just to understand our terminology, our calls, our cadences, all that kind of stuff. But again, smart guy who's been in several different systems, so expect him to be able to adapt quickly.
Can he adapt quickly enough to be potentially available for Cleveland? Is that realistic?
Yeah, I think available for Cleveland, absolutely. Now we'll see. We'll get him on the field. We had a workout with him last week. He looked great. Looks like he's in great shape, great mindset. So again, we'll get him out there, put the pads on, let him go through some of the stuff, and see where he's at next week.
Where do you plan on starting him out at position?
He'll be a guard. Yeah,
Both guard spots.
he'll be a guard. Yeah.
How much of a relief is it for you and for the team as a general that Trey's finally pen to paper and all that?
Good to get him practice these last 2 days, yesterday and today. So it's great for him to put the pads back on and go rush the passer and play the run and get this weekend to recalibrate again. He's been in all the meetings, so he hasn't missed anything. He's up to speed at all. It's just physically been doing it with the other 10 guys on defense. But happy to have him back. He looked great in practice yesterday, almost like he didn't miss a beat.
Looking back to last year, the decision to make Joe, Jamar, and T the captains for all the kind of games at the end, how did that unfold and evolve during the stretch run?
Well, it started with I was going to do it for Tennessee, for Cali, for him to see all these guys he used to coach walk out there and kind of get a pit in his stomach. But then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you can correct me, we were playing Dallas the week before on Monday Night Football, and so I just decided to do it then. And then we won 5 in a row, so just kept trotting those guys out there.
What do those guys kind of mean to even have the signal of them walking out there, kind of what they represent?
Well, they represent what's great about our team, not only from a talent standpoint, from a person standpoint. I mean, they're worldwide superstars, and they work like superstars. I mean, their work ethic is what sets the tone for our team. And it's not all the time that you have that from your best players. We have that from those guys. They love to practice. They love to compete. They have the right mental attitude. They do a great job communicating with me on things they need, things they don't need. So I've got a lot of trust in those 3 guys, and they've earned that. And so their opinion matters to me on things because I trust the feedback they're always going to give me. And so I just think, from our team standpoint, to watch those guys walk out there and do something simple as a coin toss, which I don't even think they really like doing it, to be quite honest with you. But it sends a message for our team, like these guys work hard and they're going to set the tone for us right out the gate.
From a pure football perspective, what do those guys mean in terms of like the identity of the offense and the whole vision for kind of the team? Yeah,
we want to be explosive. We want to put pressure on the defense, and there's no 3 better players that showcase that than those 3. When they line up, all eyes are on them. When T and Jamar are going through pregame warm-ups, you see everybody on the other sidelines looking at them, and they're watching Joe. You watch the other quarterback coaches and coordinator, they're watching Joe throw the ball, and so we don't take that for granted.
Kind of dovetailing off of that, looking at the 53 now, how would you characterize this team? I mean, no 2 teams are the same, but what do you think about this team as a whole?
United. I really think we've really emphasized this year just the connectedness of our team and getting to know your teammates and bonding, and I feel really good that we've achieved that. That's never a completed task, but I feel great about where we're at right now going into this 3-day off period. I feel really good that these guys know each other. They care about each other. They're going to depend on each other. They've worked hard for each other. So that's what we wanted to achieve, and I feel good about that.
What's
As
the,
a former,
Go ahead. I know you haven't gotten one, and then I'll get you next, James.
As a former quarterback, when you look at Burrow's completion percentage, A, what goes through your mind, and B, how does he do it?
He does it through hard work. I mean, this guy works is hard and asks the right questions and does a great job with the communication with the linemen and the receivers, as much as any human on earth does. He lets no detail go lets no detail go by. He's deadly accurate. You know, he just does such a great. He overemphasizes his footwork, his technique, his timing, the location. I mean, everything is just so buttoned up. He works on platform throws, moving in the pocket. He knows that that's going to be stuff he does during the games, and so he works on it intently. And he just put himself in a position to be the best. And the completion percentage comes with that because he's a great decision maker. I mean, he does an unbelievable job seeing, you know, all other 21 guys in the view of his peripheral. He understands the locations they're supposed to be at, and so he can anticipate and studies it. And he's just, I mean, you can't say enough as a quarterback guy. You're right. Like, you can't say enough. You can go on for hours talking about all the things that he does really well. And I think it's hard to say like what's best. The pinpoint accuracy is probably ultimately what is best. He puts the ball. He might not always say it's exactly where he wanted to put it, but to my eye, it's exactly where he wanted to put it.
And, like the numbers say, he's the greatest of all time doing it. Is it? I guess it's a little bit of everything. It's having the same offense. It's having the same players.
Sure.
It's having
Sure, I think the consistency with our communication, you know, you look at since the day he walked in here, Pitch has been involved in that quarterback room. Brad has been in that quarterback room. So the consistency of the voices has relatively remained unchanged. The receivers around him, for the most part, have been very consistent during his time here. So I think that the other thing with me, he's not greedy. You know, for the completion percentage, he's not greedy. He's not looking to force balls. He's looking to take it if it's there. And he knows sometimes by coming off a play action and throwing the ball right now in the flat, will force their hand eventually to where, well, we don't want Chase Brown to catch the ball that quickly in the flat anymore. So we got to play it a little tighter. And then when you play a little tighter, now we're going to take the top off and put the ball down the field. So I think he does a great job of not just getting greedy and saying, I want to throw for explosives and touchdowns all the time. He's not afraid to take the underneath throws and put our offense in a really, really good position.
What about his release? How would you characterize his?
Efficient. I mean, that's everybody's got a little different style. There's no wasted motion there. So from point A to point B, the time of release, it's as efficient as possible. I didn't see the press conference going this direction today, but I kind of like it. It's very efficient. Yeah, very efficient. You know, the moment he wants to get it out, you can see his feet quicken up and he gets the ball out quickly. And I probably rewound a screen that he threw the other day in the low red zone 15 times, just watching his cleat, how quickly his cleats got in the ground and got the ball out, and again with really good accuracy.
For example, like you had Burrow do the drive in Washington with kind of the second team, like how much time was spent kind of investing in kind of the skill position group as a whole this offseason? How important has that been for you and Burrow?
Well, those guys are going to play important roles for us at some point. And so we're always, you know, Jamar and T, they're not going to play every snap. There's going to be times where they got to be out, and the other guys have to be able to step up. And so in terms of second team, you know, he wasn't really out there with the second team. He was out there with some receivers that are, you know, maybe are 3, 4, and 5, which is going to happen over time, whether that's due to injury or whether that's just due to the plan and giving guys a break. And so that was something he had talked to me weeks before. You know, I really want to play with these guys and make sure we get real reps with them, and which we do in practice. But I think in the game, it's meaningful as well.
The depth you have, what does that do for you as a play caller and an offense designer and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff?
we don't want to miss a beat, and not everyone's Jamar and T, but those guys have worked really hard to make sure that it's not a clear distinction if the Bengals are missing a receiver. We still have a really deep core that we trust in. The tight end room is a huge part of that, and those guys all play a significant role for us in the passing game, and you know, the running backs as well. You know, it's Chase is the most explosive of them, but Samaje is extremely reliable. He and Joe have a great rapport in terms of what Joe needs from him in terms of the passing game, and Taj has done an excellent job coming in here in such a short notice and being a guy that we can trust as well. So collectively as a skill group, it's a very deep group.
You mentioned Dalton's workout, how he impressed. When you bring in a veteran like that, especially an offensive lineman, what are you looking for in the visit at that stage?
Yeah, just to make sure they've been doing something, and he had, and he was gung-ho to do it. Some guys probably would have said, no, I'm not doing that. You can sign me or not. And he was kind of over the top, like, I want to do this, and if you want me to run a 40, I'll run a 40. I mean, he was just over the top. You could get a feel for his mindset, his eagerness, and so we're happy to have him.
You mentioned it when you walked in, but obviously big game tonight. Nebraska, UC, you have ties on both sides. Who do you like?
Yeah, you're trying to get me there. I mean, you can't ever go against your alma mater. That's my alma mater. I've really come to appreciate Coach Satterfield. He's been a good friend to me, and I've got to know him very well. And so UC was great to me during my time there, so I always support them. So sometimes you get caught in a no-win situation here. Pete Thomas is another guy. He's the quarterback coach there. I remember Pete when he was a senior in high school. He came to the Texas Elite Quarterback Academy at Texas A&M, and was one of our first campers. He came with a couple other guys, and so I was a GA talking to the quarterbacks. I remember it was a big deal to get Pete Thomas to come to the camp, and he ended up playing at, I think, Colorado State and NC State, and had a good college career. But he's a quarterback coach there now.
Do you pay attention much to your alma mater? I mean, obviously you have so much other stuff going on around here, but do you pay attention much to the college game?
I took my sons there in January because they had never gotten a chance to really go see the facilities there. So we went to a basketball game and toured the football facility. They're huge Nebraska fans. I want them to have a team that they can latch onto. They're big into pro sports, which I wasn't as a kid because I'm from Oklahoma, but obviously they're into pro football more than anything. But I think it's really good for kids to have a college to latch onto and pull for in all sports. And so they're very invested in football, and we watch all the basketball and volleyball. I mean, one of my friends just got the volleyball job, so we're watching every Nebraska sport there is, trust me.
What was their impression of Lincoln?
We went in January. They loved it.
What stood out about Brett in the decision?
Excuse me?
Brett, the decision to bring him onto the practice squad.
Yeah, a guy that we've tracked for a while. Always had a high opinion of. And so last year he was leaving Chicago. We were aware of him. This year leaving Minnesota, we're aware of him. Seen him play in Denver, years ago, and in LA. So guy we've always liked. Think he's a really good fit in our room. And statistically, we just wanted to have the greatest high school quarterback room of all time. Because if you look at the stats and add them up, it's unbelievable. Can anybody tell me how many touchdowns they combined to throw for in college? In high school, high school. Anybody give me a guess?
4.
323.
522. I think I threw 19 my senior year. They threw 522. Jake has every national record. Brett has most of the Washington high school records, I believe. Broke Kellen Moore's. I don't know where Joe. I know Joe threw for like 11,500, which I think is third. I think the kid at Muller's breathing down his neck here to break that and be behind the two Mock brothers that were at Kenton High School, calling their own plays back in the day. So those are good football states. Though there's been a lot of great quarterbacks come through all three of those states, and our group has done as well as anybody.
It's really weird. Browning went on Rippion's Boise State recruiting trip, and Ripien went on Browning's Washington recruiting trip.
Yep. I don't know what but yeah, you're right. They've known each other. They've known each other for a long time.
Yeah, but they've been battling. I mean, it seems like they've always been.
Yeah, they've they're not from the same spot, but they've obviously been aware of each other for a long time. I mean, I didn't honestly know that going into this, but I've learned that over the last 48 hours. Okay, thank you.
Screwed myself.
Hey, how are you, buddy?
Screwed myself.